you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. Now, it's been, 6 or 7 months since we've done a review on anything TV
It's
show.
been a long time, man.
Spider-Man Far From Home was the last review we did. We haven't done a review since then. But we did say we were going to come together to do a review on Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the CW's, fifth crossover?
I can't keep track at this point. Like, people are adding them up on Twitter, like putting them in lists, and I can't even remember which is which, how many there's been. Like, I completely forgot there was a musical crossover. There's so many.
That was with Flash and Supergirl, because apparently they used to be on the show that they used to sing on, so they wanted to do that, I guess.
And it's almost like with these crossovers, like, people that don't even watch these shows watch them, so it becomes kind of an event, so it's fun.
Yeah, we got, of course, last year we had Elseworlds, which kind of led to this. Of course, Oliver makes a choice, and you see the Monitor, and he talks about what's anti-Monitor's coming, and the universe are in peril, whatever. The multiverse is in peril. So that's led to this. It starts out where they talk about, the Monitor does come to them. And he's pretty much teleporting people. Diggle's wife, who, I didn't even remember this happened. At one point, it may be something that I didn't see, where she became, I guess, person who helped out the Monitor, and she was teleporting, I guess, the people they consider important for the final fight. So she's been teleporting them to a central location, and of course, the event happens. There's a wave front that's pretty much wiping out the entire multiverse. You get a lot of great cameos, and it's a 5-parter. And I think they made the mistake. You get the first 3 parts in the earlier part of December, and you get the last 2 were just this week. And if you didn't go back and watch it, like the first 3 parts, you're probably not gonna remember, unless you got a really good memory. But it's a lot to remember. All the cameo appearances, just the amount of stuff that they have to connect together. So many different characters that are being thrown around in your face. It's a lot. It's a lot to remember. I'm try to remember as best as I can. Obviously, not gonna go scene by scene, because I really don't remember all of it. Even after looking up stuff on the internet, just trying to joggle my memory on just what happened.
Yeah, and we haven't like gone through it again and watched it all together. We've just watched it each episode. So the episode 1, 2, 3, we actually haven't seen them since they aired. So it's been a long time.
But on the first episode, it took place during Supergirl slot, which is Sunday 8:00 or whatever. It mostly takes place on her Earth, which is Earth 38. This is when we see the team, and they're pretty much trying to save her Earth. And this is the episode where Oliver has his first death. Now, there's spoilers. Spoilers if you haven't already seen all parts. But Oliver, this is his first death. In this, and he sacrifices himself to save some of the people from Supergirl's universe. They get away in ships or whatever. And I would say that's the biggest thing that happened outside, of course, the team. Everyone getting together. That's the biggest thing that happened. I think that was kind of a surprise to everyone, was seeing him die in that early, knowing that.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people was like, okay, he's gonna have that heroic end in the very last episode or whatever, and he's gonna go out like, in a blaze of glory or whatever. Still does, by the way, but just not exactly the way you thought it was gonna happen. Even the Monitor,
you're gonna die twice. I didn't see that coming.
No, even the Monitor was like, I didn't see it going like this.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I feel like the Monitor was like the audience on that one.
He was like, oh shit, he did.
But that was effective though. Like I felt like the first episode. I don't know how you feel like it if you remember
the first
correctly.
episode's all right. Yeah.
I actually really liked the way they started it. They kind of got everything together. They had a big fight scene at the end. It seemed like big stakes, although we knew it was only the first episode. And then by having him die, you're like, okay, cliffhanger going in the second episode. We don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no way they're going to kill Oliver Queen like this in the first episode of this crossover. But it still, I think, was effective the way they did it.
Yeah, I'm just looking over some of the notes. Because as a matter of fact, because he died, it wasn't even at the end of the episode.
It was like, I want to say 5 minutes left, and then they had another, like, full scene.
Yeah. Because, of course, you see him do a little bit of fighting in this episode. You see his daughter's with him. She does some fighting, of course. I don't know what they're gonna do with her. Was she ever shown again?
I think she was in the second episode, but I could be wrong.
No, I'm talking about the last two.
Oh no, she wasn't in the last two.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, like, what's
That's actually interesting because we haven't seen her reaction.
Yeah,
because she gets her own show. For those of you that may or may not know, she has her own show coming up. And they're doing the whole pilot for the next episode of Arrow, which is next week. So I'm guessing at the beginning of that episode, it will be sort of like the passing of the torch moment. They still have another episode of Arrow after that one, like the actual Arrow show. This one is like the new Arrow continuation show, which is a completely different show. I think, what's it called? It's like the Green Arrow and the Canaries, something like that.
I have no idea.
Something like that. So it's a completely different show, but I'm guessing that's going to be one of the big impacts, obviously, is him dying, but how does his kids take it? And then ultimately, how do we see Mia go on? Does she like take the mantle? What happens there?
He kind of like had a passing torch moment in the this first episode, the crossover, and he like gave her costume, and kind of the way he handed it to her, like, he probably wasn't gonna make it. And he figured he wasn't gonna survive through the whole ordeal, just based off what the monitor told him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, yeah, we kind of all knew that, including the audience and the characters kind of inside the show knew that as well, which made it extra interesting. And then you even look at the last episode at the end, he has a seat at the table.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. So who's gonna, like, is it just like kind of like
is
an
it just there?
It's just an honorary empty seat.
Maybe he's gonna come back like once every season, maybe, or like, is she gonna take the seat? Like, what's gonna happen? That's gonna be interesting.
Man, it's one of those things like you see like in the Justice League where they'll have like fallen hero, they'll have their costume and their weapon and stuff just to kind of honor them and stuff like that. We'll see how they do that. It'll be I don't know. That's a massive like step for her if she's able to sit at the table with everybody else.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Without like really proving herself in any way. Even though Batwoman don't belong there. But let's keep going.
No, she's the Bat of the future, bro.
Next episode. The next episode. Okay, this is when they find out. The monitor tells them about the different paragons. How was it split up? Let's see. Barry was a paragon of love. Mm-hmm. Batwoman was a paragon of courage. John was a paragon of honor. Carl was the paragon of hope.
Sarah, paragon of destiny.
Paragon of destiny. There's two more. These two, we'll talk about them.
Did you bring up Truth?
Yeah, Truth is a Kryptonian. We knew it wasn't.
Actually,
well, it got changed. It got changed. Yeah, when Lex Luthor got the Book of Destiny, he changed it.
Yeah, he made it himself.
But it was supposed to be a Superman, so they went to the different Earths trying to find that Superman. They went to, everybody knows Smallville. Come on, man. Tom Welling reprised his role as Clark Kent. It was great to see him. Even what's her name? Erica.
Erica Durance. Yeah.
Yes, she reprised her role as Lois Lane. He doesn't have his power, so clearly he wasn't it. It was just cool as hell to see him again.
Had the classic flannel on.
Yeah, it was really cool to see him again. Then they go to what Earth was it? Wow, was it 92? Well, this Superman's based on the Kingdom Come Superman. It's Brandon Ruth, who, of course, you know him. He's Adam. Of course, he was Superman for that movie way back when. And
Superman Returns. Yeah.
yes, and he reprised his role as Superman. And he is the one who is the well, at the time, Paragon of Truth.
They do have an epic Superman fight in this episode.
Yes, they do.
That was really cool scene, and actually I want to say the CG in that scene is actually pretty good for a TV show.
Yeah.
Pretty well done, and him and is it Tyler Superman? They fight. So, yeah, that was good. And well, what's his what is he called? There's a certain name for Brandon's Superman because he has the whole storyline with the Joker and stuff, and like the Joker kills.
I know it's based on the Kingdom Come Superman. I don't know what the reaction. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, because he has the whole black suit on and everything. So that's why he's the Paragon of Truth.
Yeah. And of course they're looking for the Paragon of Humanity. So this is the last Paragon that they find. Is actually a guy named Ryan Choi. I think it was kind of random to pick him, but clearly they want to do more with that character. And with hearing about Brandon Routh probably not he's not going to be there throughout all of Legends. We'll see how that goes, if that didn't change or not. Ryan Choi if you don't know in the comics, he's actually the next Adam who takes that mantle or whatever. So he could be the guy who's going to be a little bit more important. He clearly knows about the technology that Ray Palmer uses. So
what did you think of them introducing a character like that in a crossover? Did you like it?
No. I mean, I know of that actor. He's been in other CW shows. He's pretty solid, but I don't know about them introducing a guy and making him one of the 7 most important people, at the time. Like, I don't know about that. But personally, I'd rather have been Black Lightning, who does show up in this crossover, but not until the next episode. I would rather have been Black Lightning to be Paragon of Humanity, because it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting because like you have that kind of give and take where he's a character that's new, that's in an important role, and nobody really knows anything about him, so you're trying to get like sympathy on him and get people to care about him a little bit. But then you're like, it's also kind of good because you want this guy to be introduced to the biggest fan base possible so that you kind of like understand him in future episodes. So I don't know, I kind of get it, but I kind of also don't get it. Like it felt kind of random with all that was happening with like Oliver and all the focus coming in on Barry and stuff like that, and how they introduced this new character. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was. That's why I kind of didn't like this episode very much. Just because you had that, and of course you got the Batwoman, heavy Batwoman dialogue in this episode, like because it does take place on her show's hour, so you see a lot more of her. But she's not very likable, man.
What did you think of the Tom Welling return? I know you said you liked it, but like, you loved it?
Yeah, he's like, I may not have my strength, but I can still. He punched Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor was going through the multiverse because he found out about the Paragons and that Kryptonian was the Paragon of Truth, so he was trying to go through and wipe out the Superman, and he kind of came there. He was like, I'm not even going to do it because he had the Book of Destiny or whatever. He's like, I'm not even going to do it. You don't even have your powers. You essentially had the powers of a god, and you gave it up. And Tom Welling, Clark Kent, showed it when he had a kid or whatever, he was married. He was like, I'll give it up again to get all this. And that was Earth 167 that time that Smallville takes place on.
Yeah, I definitely felt there was a good payoff where like fans of that show in particular would like watch this scene and be like, "Oh, that's what happened to him."
Yep.
You know, that's a good moment for fans of that show, and definitely great fan service. That might have been the best fan service moment.
Of course, yeah.
Overall, the way it was executed.
Because he talking about he has one of the longest running series there, especially superhero.
Yeah, but I will say with all of the different characters that we saw, I guess we could say come back or make appearances, I was a little disappointed that they didn't play like a bigger role in the entire crossover itself. Like I wanted to see Tom Welling in action. Like I wanted to see Kevin Conroy like
I kind of figured they wouldn't do that because it's like I don't think they wanted to pay him more to like do more stuff, or maybe the
I know.
I
was like something. I wanted to see it, but
yeah. Like, who won't want to see Tom Welling in a crossover like this with using his powers and stuff? Imagine if he was they made him the Paragon of Truth and kind of kept him the Paragon of Truth instead of using Lex Luthor to do all that.
And they just have Mark Hamill come up as the Joker.
Oh man, he didn't show up in it. I'm surprised he didn't make any kind of appearance.
Well, he is another character.
Yeah,
like this.
But he is in Flash, so I mean.
Yeah.
He was in a couple of episodes actually. Also, another thing that happens in this episode, Batwoman and Supergirl go to Earth 99. Now, this is also at the same time. This is when they're trying to. Was it Sarah, Oliver's daughter, Diggle? They're trying to bring back Oliver. So they try to go to a Lazarus pit. They actually find one. Did they try one in the past or something like? Because I think
it was a different Earth.
Yes, they go to a different Earth because they see Jonah Hex. So it's another cameo appearance.
Yeah.
So they ended up bringing him back, but also they have to go find his soul and whatever. But at the same time that's going on, Supergirl, Batwoman, they go to Earth 99 and they see Kevin Conroy, definitive Batman voice, and this is first time actually on
definitive
screen.
Batman. Period.
There you go.
Give it to him.
And he this is his first time doing a live action, pretty much Bruce Wayne. And it's just cool. It's just weird to see him and then hear the voice. It just doesn't match. It just doesn't match the way he looks.
I guess.
It doesn't match the way he looks. But you find out that because they're actually looking for the. This is before we kind of rushed a little bit. This is when this episode is kind of when they're revealing all the Paragons, so they still don't know who the Paragon of Courage is. Of course, it's Bat, it end up being Batwoman or whatever, but they assume that it's Batman from another Earth. So they go to this Earth. They find out this Batman is a total asshole. You find out he killed Superman of his universe. So I think they're going with
and they almost made like Batman v Superman references.
I think they go with Return of the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's sort of. Yeah,
I think that's what they're going with.
I kind of thought it was interesting. I know a lot of people, Batman fans, some of them were upset with the way that like they didn't get like the definitive Batman, Kevin Conroy, like his animated series come to life sort of thing. I can understand why you'd be upset with that, but at the same time, wouldn't you just want that Batman to like take control of the whole thing and just like carry the team to the victory? Like in this case, we've never seen Kevin Conroy actually play this type of Batman, so I kind of thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you find out he's in the suit. Clearly, his fight with Superman probably left him pretty much beaten, and he needed the suit to move around. But apparently, the suit's not just for him moving around. He pretty much has kryptonite in it, and he punches Supergirl. And then there's kind of what I don't like. I think he's got I think he just got killed kind of lame. It was just like this lame, dinky kick. And then a lot of it is Batwoman not really selling the kick or whatever. It's a really shitty kick. And he gets hit into some kind of like junction box or whatever, gets electrocuted, and he's dead. I don't remember what he said to her. What did he say to her? He said something to her. Oh, he said something about, it was something about trusting like the like Kryptonians or something like that.
Yeah. I did like that aspect to it though, like Supergirl, the whole Supergirl aspect to it.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like this would have been better if Batwoman wasn't even involved.
Exactly. Because you could have honestly just had Supergirl go herself. really didn't need Batwoman. I know she got a show and they make her important or whatever, but man, she was not good. This is when she gets the kryptonite, and it kind of leads to some tension with Supergirl later on in the episode, and where she was talking about how that Batman killed Superman or whatever, and come to find out she had kryptonite the whole time that she would need, and I guess just in case or whatever. But she does show cards, I guess, as a way of trust that, okay, I got this kryptonite. I'm letting you know I got it. Let me see. That's mostly I think that was right at the end of the episode where they were having the conflict. I'm gonna tell you, Batwoman really doesn't sell anything for me. Just like apathy when you watch her on there.
You know what I'll say though? I didn't really think she was a huge part of this crossover. Maybe she was a little bit more in the first 3 parts than.
Oh, the last 2 she wasn't. The last 2
she wasn't even really in there for the last 2. So
yeah.
I didn't really have a problem with her. I know I've only seen like 1 episode of the show, so I can't really speak on how good the show is or how bad the show is. But I don't know. I didn't really find her an issue. But what I said, I think it would have been more effective if it was just Supergirl going on the mission. But I understand because it's Batman and Batwoman, so I understand they needed to do that somehow. But
okay, then they go to that was the end of the second episode. Third episode, it opens up to this is like literally the first thing that opens up. It opens up. I don't know if you guys remember the old Birds of Prey show. The show's garbage. Earth 203.
Did you watch that show, Calvin, when it was out?
I've seen like a couple episodes. It's really short. It only lasts 1 season. It got canceled. But you see the chick that plays Huntress, where she's talking about Oracle and stuff like that. And I thought that was a cool nod because this is a show that's forgotten.
And not even good.
It's a bad show, yeah. It's a bad show, and they kind of threw in there that, yeah, like that's part of that multiverse or whatever. So that was a cool nod. But you also see they pretty much get wiped out by the antimatter wave or whatever. But they do show that.
Then we get Mr. Lucifer, Morningstar.
Yes.
Hitting on Oliver's daughter too.
Of course. Cisco does get his powers back in this episode.
Yeah, that was so overlooked.
Yeah, he does because he's not in episodes 4 or 5. Like I don't.
No, he isn't. No, he's only in this episode.
He's only in this episode.
And he gets his powers back, and everyone's gonna forget, and then see him on Flash with his powers and be like, "Oh yeah."
Let's see.
Oliver gets his soul back.
Yes, he gets his soul back. But this is when. Well, let's see what happened. Lila, which is Diggle's wife, she was, of course, teleporting the important people to escape the antimatter wave. Mm-hmm. So this is one thing. This is not part of the episodes, but between this, Black Lightning happens, I believe, before this.
Okay.
At the end of Black Lightning, you see the antimatter wave hit his universe, and I'm just kind of just adding to it because it is like a tie-in or whatever. you see his daughter who has powers similar to hers, but is a lot weirder. She was able to see multiple universe versions of herself. So this is, and at the very end of his episode, his universe gets wiped out, but you see him get teleported away. Now, as you know, he's in this third episode. Let's see, like you said, Oliver gets his soul back. This is when they find out. This is what happens because Oliver decides to go away, right? Like soon after he got his soul back.
Yeah, basically he like gets his soul back, and then he's immediately like confronted by Spectre.
Yep.
So he's basically like called to be the Spectre, and that's like his destiny ultimately.
Yep. They also find the source. They find the source of the antimatter wave, and you find out that John Wesley's ship, who is
90s Flash.
He's the 90s Flash. You've seen him a couple times in, of course, the current Flash series.
Yeah.
He's the one who's running on a treadmill to keep the antimatter wave going. And based on what he says if I do it this way, it's a lot slower. But if I don't, it gets blown up almost, pretty much instantly, because of the machine. Let me see. Of course,
I also felt like this scene was really, really well done with Barry and, like, I guess both Barrys, but Barry and 90s Flash, because like you have that previous connection between the two. Obviously, not only is he the Flash from the 90s and all the kind of mentoring he's done for Barry on the show, but also it's his father. Like, it looks like his father. So there's that whole thing there, and Barry like wants to save him, but he can't. So like he's struggling with all that, and then boom, we get hit with the black lightning, like Arrival, and that was a really cool moment. So that was like one of my favorite scenes in the entire 5 episodes, was that one right there.
Yeah, that was around close to the end.
Mm.
And you get a kind of a nice send off for John Wesley Ship's Flash, where you see a lot of scenes from his show and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it was kind
that
of
was
nice.
cool.
It was a nice nod to his show. As you said before, they go to Earth 666, ironically so, to see Lucifer Morningstar from the series Lucifer. Apparently that's part of the multiverse. He is a DC character. Make that clear. He is a DC character. Tom Willis. I mean, the dude's pretty good. But he pretty much gives them a way to go to purgatory, so they can speak to, because they're looking for Oliver or whatever. Oliver, of course, does not decide to go with them when they get there. I honestly, looking at it, I was like, yeah, it's probably not gonna work. When I first, like, they wanted to get him back so bad, I was like, this is probably not gonna work.
Funny thing is, it does.
No, like, after they get his soul back, like, that they were gonna just let him just willy nilly keep his soul like that.
Yeah.
Like, he was just gonna willy nilly just bring him back. Like, oh,
I can just do this any moment. Let's just call up Lucifer every time someone dies.
There's your quick little flip. I was like, nah, I don't think that's gonna stand. They're gonna do something else.
Yeah. I kind of heard the Spectre rumors like before.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that was coming. So, but it's still well executed. But and then they go and they see Ryan Choi. They get to him. They track him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is when, because they were still looking for the Paragon of Humanity. He was the last one.
I'm trying to remember. Go back to Cisco. How does he get his powers again?
Who's the guy?
Was it Monitor? Who was it?
No, it wasn't Monitor. It was
He's like, no, I don't want them. I decided not to.
I think it was Pariah.
Okay,
it's the guy it's the guy that plays Reverse Flash. That's the actor or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's the one who, this guy's played so many different. He's done so many different characters.
He's like the unsung hero of the entire universe.
Yeah, he's done so, like for Flash, he's done so many different characters. He's also the one who gets Black. he actually goes and gets Black Lightning. But he's the one who gives Cisco his powers back.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and he kind of said he was like, oh, I'm just the guy who watches or whatever, because that was like my fate, because I was the one who released the monitor or whatever. Let me see, just going through it. Of course, she said like that's when they go see Ryan Choi, and they got him to really quickly go with them. Like he was convinced very fast.
I mean, what would you do if you just saw all these superheroes?
I mean,
you go?
what the hell? I'd be like, oh, okay. But yeah, I found out he's the paragon of humanity. Of course, we talked about what Black Lightning.
That's something I didn't understand. Why is this random guy the
see,
paragon
that
of humanity?
That's what was lame. Yeah.
But like to be fair, they did write him that way, where he's like, "Why am I here?" Like,
yeah, you see that in was the fourth episode? Yes, the fourth episode. You kind of see like, why am I a paragon? Why I don't have any powers or anything like that. I'm the new guy. Like I don't have any special skills outside of like I guess being really smart. This is one thing I do like about this episode. Carl was actually tempted by the Book of Destiny because of like she wanted to bring her back. So like I guess the book has some kind of sway over people who really want something like that. And I guess this is when, and, you know, you're still going with the thing with why Batwoman has the kryptonite or whatever. But yeah. But I thought that was a interesting thing that they did do. Of course, Black Lightning does show up to help them. He pretty much is able to drain the lightning from the machine. You even get a moment of flash time with both Barrys pretty much talking to each other. And he's talking about he has to sacrifice himself. And you actually see an ability that the current Flash can't do. Steal speed. That's an interesting thing that speedsters can do in the comics. So it's just cool to see him do that. Of course, he ends up sacrificing himself. Everyone gets teleported to the Wave Rider. Lila shows up. They think it's just Lila. To find out that it is the Anti-Monitor. And he pretty much, Pariah teleports the Paragons away. But everybody else gets deleted, along with like Black Lightning and everybody else. They all get pretty much erased.
They basically get Infinity Ward.
Yeah, the Monitor ends up losing to the Anti-Monitor. And then as you get to the very end of, as you get like to the very end of the episode, you see Lex Luthor had the book of, he tore out a page of the Book of Destiny and made himself a Paragon. He made himself a Paragon of Truth instead of Kingdom Come, Brandon Routh's Superman.
Yeah, this put kind of like a wrench in between the team, I guess.
Yeah, because they don't trust him, especially
They don't
Supergirl.
trust them, so there's that extra ability to write something interesting into it. But I don't know if they really took full advantage of that, to be honest.
Well, you kind of see in episode 4 where he kind of tries to pretty much take over or whatever.
Yeah,
you do kind of see that where he tries to get to the because they go back in time or whatever. We'll get to that, but he essentially tries to get to the antimatter universe himself, so he could find a way to harness the power.
Mm-hmm.
But it pretty much ends on that. We see Lex Luthor show up. And
what do you think of this Lex Luthor?
From a look, I think he makes some of the plans he makes is like there's a lot of something Lex Luthor would do. It's just weird looking. Like he doesn't really look the part.
He looks like a nerdy version of Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
but I don't. He also kind of acts that way too. So like I like him. I don't think I love him as Lex Luthor, but I like him.
He doesn't have the look. He has like some of the things he does is like, yeah, that's something Lex Luthor would do. He just doesn't have the look. Like, so a Lex Luthor that had the look was the guy in Smallville. He had the look.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, he doesn't have that like badass look.
Yeah, like, 'cause Lex Luthor is pretty, like, he's a pretty big dude. This guy, not really. So there's like no intimidation in that regard.
Then again, though, like I told you before we even recorded this, like, I think I would tune into Supergirl now.
I don't know if I can do it, man.
Just to check it out and see what happens.
I mean, the fifth episode kind of like, it sets up a lot in the future. Because we was thinking coming out of this whole thing, I was like, what else they gonna do? Well, they clearly set up some more stuff, some appearances. Someone can appear in someone else's show or whatever, much easier now. So I mean, yeah, but at the end of that, you go to episode 4, and they're pretty much. So where the hell were they stuck at? Because I know they were
the vanishing point.
Yes, they were trapped there. Because Barry's trying to run through the Speed Force.
And Barry was gone for like a month. But
yeah.
He was gone for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's like, I just left. And he was like, you were gone for months, bro. So that was how the episode started, where they were trying to find out how to get out of there. This is when Oliver shows up. It's like Oliver / Spectre, or whatever. He had all Oliver's memories or whatever, but super powerful. He was in, like he said, he was in tune with the whole multiverse, or what's left of it. He literally upgrades Barry's powers, like just by touching him on the head. Then it was like, do you trust me? And it was like, with every cell in my body or something like that.
Yeah,
and
they used that line a couple times.
Yeah. And he was like, run. And then Barry pretty much runs everybody out of there through the Speed Force. And there's some weird stuff. This is like almost like dream type sequences. But it was like, was it in the past? Was it like some kind of? I believe it was. They were in the Speed Force, and the Speed Force was going through the different events that happened in the past, Elseworld. Just a bunch of different.
The Speed Force, but like he says in every scene, almost he's like, "This isn't real. You guys aren't here."
Yeah.
Like he's trying to find the people to save them. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's trying to find the people to save them, but some of the people in the scene he's not trying to save.
Yeah.
At the same time.
He's only trying to save the essentially the other 6 Paragons. So he has to go through different points in the Speed Force. He has to like use, I guess, like, I can't remember how he said he had to find them, because the Speed Force is almost infinite. But he had to use like different memories or whatever, and he was able to find all the different people, and they were able to pretty much travel to the antimatter universe? Was it the antimatter universe? Or was it the?
Yeah, that was cool though. Going back to that was cool though, because you got to see like some cool moments, like when Oliver meets Palmer, when Sarah like died in season 3 of Arrow.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Laurel, like the original Laurel, that was cool.
Yeah, we got to see her.
Yeah, there were some good moments there just within that, like kind of not like major moments throughout the series, but like if you're a fan of all the series and you watch that happen whenever it took place, you would remember and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's cool.
Yeah. It wasn't the antimatter. It was like some kind of nexus point, where like the universe was created. It was something. I can't remember the exact name of the place that Barry eventually ends up taking everyone to.
Yeah. It just looked like an abandoned planet to me.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a really important place where this is where they had to fight. Then this is where we actually see the there's a lot of stuff that happens even before that, because that part right there is really the end of the episode. The part I just brought up.
Yeah.
You actually see them go, because they do separate and go do was that in the 4th or the 5th episode? That was the 4th episode, because the 5th episode took place after everything got changed or whatever. Because I remember the 4th where Supergirl, Lex Luthor, and Ryan Choi, they go to what's like thousands of years in the past to essentially stop all that from happening. With the Monitor essentially going to the, well, he wasn't the Monitor at the time. Where he's essentially going to.
Oh yeah.
Where he essentially goes to the. He's doing an experiment and he accidentally goes. To
Yeah,
the
they kind of did
universe.
have the origin story for him.
Mm-hmm. You like see his wife, and by him doing that, that essentially would kind of jumpstart all those events. Well, would eventually do jumpstart those events. And it was also like the reason his universe got destroyed. Where like his planet got destroyed or whatnot. Of course, Lex Luthor betrays them. Apparently, when he come to find out, he had powers the whole time. When he used the book, he gave himself powers, which not surprised. He wouldn't just come up empty-handed like that. Especially if Supergirl would try to attack him. He tried to do things himself. I kind of mentioned this earlier, where he wants control of the entire universe. It kind of reminds me of the Justice League series, where Lex Luthor spent most of that series looking for something called the anti-life equation, where it would allow him to reshape the universe in his image. Like,
yeah,
that was him.
I remember that.
That's what him and Darkseid was essentially looking for. It reminded me of that when I first like saw what Lex Luthor was doing. It reminded me of that. Like I said, the plans he makes is a lot. This Lex Luthor is just the look. It just doesn't have the look, in my opinion. I can't remember what everybody else was doing at this exact time. You have to refresh my memory exactly what everybody else was
Got
doing.
most of the main points there.
Yeah. Which they do eventually lead to. It looks like an abandoned planet. It's some kind of nexus point where they were essentially going to try to jumpstart a new rebirth. Yes, rebirth. They bring back a new universe or whatever, a new multiverse. That's when the Anti-Monitor shows up. They have this fight with a bunch of little shadow things or whatever. Wow,
That's just the Paragons, and then the Spectre shows up.
Yeah, Oliver shows up as the Spectre, and he gets into a beam energy battle with the Anti-Monitor. He's eventually able to, like he said, I would like the flame. You fan the fire.
Yeah.
Which had a really big meaning that they didn't understand until much later, like in the very last episode. But he pretty much, Oliver sacrifices himself. We believe that the Monitor was destroyed. Well, they believe.
And
that
he
the Monitor
said,
was destroyed.
"You failed this universe."
He did say that. Hey, that's,
It was cheesy, but it was good.
yeah, it was a throwback to you failed this city. Well, that's definitely upgrading. But he's able to pretty much jumpstart a new universe. Then I think does the end of this episode? Because the end of this episode, they wait everybody like because it shows Supergirl waking up, right? Because she's like one of the first you see.
No, I think that's the first. That's the 5th episode. That's how it starts.
But
The 4th episode, I think it ends with him like dying.
yeah.
Like,
4th episode with him dying pretty much the last time he was like.
But I will say this: we didn't really see him truly, fully die, which I said, I don't know, bro.
I mean, he could make an appearance at some point down the line, like a cameo appearance. Or
Is he
something
still
like
the
that.
Spectre? Did he die as the Spectre? Did he die as Oliver? What happened?
Because here's the thing: in the comics, Spectre cannot be killed.
So there you go. Like he could come back in like 2 seasons and something like that.
And the Spectre is almost like he's like connected to the multiverse. It's like kind of like a spirit or whatever. So yeah, he could. I mean, if they still gonna have him be the Spectre, he could show up at some point in the future or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he's never ever gonna show up again. Like he's probably gonna
he's
show.
done.
Yeah.
I personally think he's done. But yeah, it ends with him essentially dying or whatever. And this is when the 5th episode starts, and it starts with Carl waking up in her bed. Now, going to find out the universe, multiverse is being restored. But what she didn't know, it's funny because she almost barbecued her sister when she woke up.
Yeah, she almost killed her.
Yeah. What she didn't know was that, well, one, Lex Luthor has a lot more power than he did before. Cause
he's a hero.
Yeah, he's considered a hero now. And he literally, and the thing about he remembers everything. All the Paragons remember everything. So when he's like having a speech, he's looking down at Carl, knowing that
that's going to be awesome. Winking.
Yeah, knowing that he remembered everything that happened.
That's what I said. Like, that's why I said, like, I'm intrigued by it now. Like, I thought that was a really good moment or scene to, like, get people excited for Supergirl. Because I think that's a really interesting kind of twist on the story or this season. I currently don't know what's happening in Supergirl, so, like, I'd find it interesting.
This is when she finds out that only the Paragon, like, when she talks to John, because John, of course, remembers everything.
Yeah. And he goes around and basically restores everybody's memory.
Yeah, he basically goes around and restores everyone's memory. But come to find out, Lex Luthor even runs the the organization that she's been like working with throughout the entirety of the show. So she's not too happy about that. But something even bigger that we found out in this episode, we see Weather Witch. It was like, what is Weather Witch doing here? She's a Flash villain. She's not even in her universe or whatever. And Weather Witch kind of talks to Supergirl like she knows her. Come to find out what the changes that were made, that Oliver made, which I think he did intentionally to bring everyone together. You find out that Flash and Supergirl been buddy buddy this whole time. Like,
yeah,
that's always been the thing. So apparently, all the characters that we've seen, like entire crossover, they're all in this universe as well. Of course, Flash and any characters from Arrow, Legends, they were all in the same universe. But Supergirl was a different universe.
Yeah, so Supergirl,
Black Lightning was a different universe. Now that's all put meshed into this universe, into Earth Prime, is what they're calling it.
Yeah, they're calling it Earth Prime now, not Earth 1.
Yeah.
Which they used to call it.
Yeah. Let's see, trying to make sure I remember everything. Like you said, John was going around restoring the memories of most of the really important people. Ray Palmer, some of the characters that work with Oliver, like Diggle and everyone else. Of course, Black Lightning, because he does show up and actually do things. And that was, to me, the biggest surprise of the entire crossover was the fact that they brought all the universes, because it's.
You think that's surprising? Why are you surprised by it?
Because I didn't think they would put all three universes
because
together.
There's still other Earths. Like, there's a different Earth for Titans.
Yeah.
There's a different Earth for.
I was just referring for like the Arrowverse, whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, we can call it like the Arrowverse.
I don't know. I like it.
I don't. I think it's pretty good. I thought it was handled well, and it kind of.
I actually really liked this last episode. I think this last episode was the best.
Yeah, just because it sets that up. Of course, you do get a final fight with the Anti-Monitor. Yeah. They devise a way to beat him.
And it was the Legend, so you had a little bit of that ridiculous comedy at Bebo. You had
the best comedy when Ray Palmer was like.
You had like some fourth wall, like breaking the fourth wall.
He's like. Because he said, because Ryan Choi, because he said call it something else. Then Ryan Choi said we call it the microverse. He said that works. Possible copyright infringement, but it works.
And they're like, is this a crossover? Like, did I miss it?
Oh yeah, everyone asked that. Yeah,
like that's what I'm excited for Legends. I'm really excited for Legends.
You see Nate talk about that. We missed the crossovers, man. Like, yeah, he did. So I thought all that was I think all that was handled well.
And I like how they kind of dedicated the episode to Oliver.
Yeah, you see it at the end where they talk about how he was the one who pretty much is the hero of the universe, multiverse.
Yeah, I like the whole newscast thing. That was good.
Mm-hmm. You saw you saw a bunch of different characters kind of hanging out. You saw like Batwoman and Supergirl hanging out. You know, don't care, but it's cool because you're possibly gonna see a lot more of that in that series with them showing up in different series, and I think that's what this fifth episode is, to kind of set up things for the future of the shows. I think that's more. I think not only was it kind of the end of like Oliver's story,
yeah,
but it was also like showing that okay, yeah, we still got a little bit of gas in the tank to.
It was like the end of Arrow, but the beginning of something new.
Yeah, we formed the Justice League essentially. You see that at the very end where they do that, Black Lightning.
Yeah, that's interesting. Will they use Justice League or will they be like Super Friends? Like, what will they?
They can go what I want. Take up Justice Society.
What will they go with? Because Justice League is kind of already used, isn't it? In the movies.
Man, they could just say Justice Society or something.
Yeah.
They might make up something new or whatever. But
yeah.
You actually see the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
At the very end, you see the Hall of Justice. But
I really liked that little Superman, Brandon Routh Superman, which is also the callback to the original Superman when he flies over the Earth. That's a cool moment.
Yeah, that was a really really cool moment. But of course they do the final battle or whatever. They're able to beat the Anti-Monitor, pretty much team up. They use some kind of device that keeps shrinking him down because he can't ultimately be destroyed. So it's kind of like a prison for him. But I don't even think that's really the fighting is cool or whatever. But I just think all the other stuff, setting up future stuff, I think that was done a lot better. You knew he was gonna get a big fight. But it was just like everything else, just seeing all the characters interact, and then possibility of seeing them interact more. I felt as though was it episode 3, where Black Lightning and Flash kind of talk, and they had a little moment or whatever. I thought that's pretty good. It just shows you we're probably gonna see more of these two guys together. There's a reason they separated those two to talk. That means we're gonna see more.
Yeah, like you said, I think that's a good point. We're gonna see some of these new characters interact with the other character, or I guess you would say the old characters. I think it's also interesting to see, that's why I'm so excited for Legends. What's gonna happen with Legends now that they're doing this whole Justice Society thing
and the timeline,
as well.
The timeline's gonna be all different.
Yeah, the timeline's gonna be all wacky. They're gonna have to fix it, and there's gonna be interaction between them and I don't know. It's interesting.
And then Black Lightning's gonna be weird because Black Lightning's been separate. It's been separated, kind of like how Supergirl. Even though Supergirl knew about multiple universes, you knew about that seasons ago, so you kind of figured that was that vast.
Yeah,
but learning
it was separated, but she knew Arrow, she knew Flash.
Yeah.
Black Lightning had no idea, so that's gonna blow his whole world.
When we first saw Superman, he's like, Superman real? Because in his universe, Superman's a comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Superman. I know Superman for sure is a comic book. I know they mentioned I know they mentioned Supergirl as well, but only in terms of just being fiction.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
And then Green Lantern, man, I'm so excited to see
let's get through because I actually got a list of the different cameos and stuff like that.
Okay, let's do it. I'm most pumped for Green Lantern, especially that it's on HBO and the people that are running it and writing it. It's a really good team, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Let me see. Just going down this list. Alexander Knox. This is a nod. This Earth 89. This is actually a nod to this is shown in part 1 of Crisis. This is actually a nod to the 89 Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool nod. Hawk and Jason Todd, Earth 9. That is the current going Titan series on DC Universe.
Which I
Um,
wish was a better show because I feel like they almost would have like intertwined it a little bit. But
yeah, and apparently they're of course still around because they show them at the end as well. Obviously,
yeah,
I'm not gonna get rid of them. The Ray, which we've seen him before, like he's kind of crossed over to the universe in the one of the crossovers. I think it was the one before last. Yeah, it was one before Elseworlds. Um, Old school Batman, Dick Grayson, Earth 66,
that's awesome.
Burt Ward. I thought, man, if only Witch was still alive, he would have made an appearance. That would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Will Wheaton. This is a Earth 38. This is a nod to Superman 2, where he's holding up the sign.
Which
this
one
one,
was that? Jeez, I can't remember.
yeah, it says prepare to meet thy doom. The end of the world is nigh. That's like that's actually in Superman 2. I do remember that, really thinking about it. Well, of course, we mentioned Bruce Wayne, we mentioned Tom Welling, of course, Jonah Hex, we mentioned that, mentioned Huntress, Lucifer, of course, that Flash, Black Lightning, Ezra Miller.
Oh,
Now,
dude!
this was the one that's like, okay, hold on.
This was like, what the F just happened?
They got Ezra Miller into this like series to show up, which confirms that okay, the movie stuff is a part of the multiverse. One,
Yeah,
which
that's awesome.
We didn't know that.
And remember, keep saying they need to make it like together. Like I don't even know if that means it's together or not together, or if like maybe Grant Gustin will be in like one of these multiverse movies or something. I don't care, but still to do this and to execute this and to not even let it leak, that's so impressive.
Yeah.
And awesome. Whether you like Ezra Miller or not, it's still cool.
Yeah, because I'll be one. I don't really like it, but I like that it shows you that because because there's a big fight over like who's the Flash or whatever. It shows you both of them are pretty much there and essentially in the same multiverse. And it's kind of funny seeing them interact because Ezra Miller doesn't really know a damn thing about his abilities or whatever. But it was cool to see him interact. And I think that was one that just came completely out of left field because we knew about Kevin Conroy, Tom Welling. I think the Lucifer one kind of came out of the blue or whatever. But this one, seeing as how DC's been real big on kind of separating TV show, for them to kind of do that, I thought that was really good.
Yeah, and I think it also gives them a little bit of buzz over Marvel.
Yeah.
Because Marvel's TV, I mean, they've kind of botched it.
Yeah, they're waiting for a lot of new stuff to come out. I think a lot
Yeah.
of new stuff to come out this year.
And there's a lot of exciting stuff that's going into the future with DC, so.
Okay, Marv Wolfman, who is the writer of the Crisis on Infinite Earth comics, makes an appearance in the
Yeah, he does. Autograph.
Yeah, he makes an appearance in the 5th episode. This is when we first find out that Supergirl and Flash exist on the same Earth.
It was almost like a Stan Lee sort of thing.
Yes, that's exactly. And he also co-wrote the 4th episode. He co-wrote the 4th episode, which the last 2 episodes to me are the best episodes.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Like he did have an appearance in there.
Yeah, personally, I thought that the first and the last 2 were the best episodes.
Yeah. You see Stargirl, Earth 2, and kind of her team, which a trailer for her series has already come out. So this, I guess, they're still going to be doing multiple universes or whatever, but it's just like the main characters, the characters that have already started their series. They're all in one universe. But Stargirl, Earth 2, Green Lanterns, which is supposed to be an HBO show. They're probably going to use that. They're probably going to move DC Universe to HBO because they got HBO Max, which is like their big thing.
Yeah.
That they're doing. That's Earth 12. and they kind of gave a little glimpse into that. You know, I thought it was a scene from the Ryan Reynolds movie, but you reminded me that they are making that Green Lantern series. So
I think it would have been hilarious though if Ryan Reynolds showed up, because you know
they should have did that.
He probably would have done it.
They should have did that. They could have still came out with the series or whatever, just have him show up or something.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing, Earth 19, which is a DC Universe series, pretty good. They ended up getting canceled, I believe, for budget reasons or something like that. Maybe it can't get brought back. But they showed him kind of just sitting in the swamp or whatever. That was great. Of course, the Titans. You see them again at the end on the 5th episode. And Doom Patrol.
Yeah, Doom Patrol. I know a lot of people love that show, and I've never seen it, but I think just thinking of it now, I feel like a Doom Patrol Legends crossover would be awesome.
So they're pretty much showing that all these other series, they're in the grand multiverse of I like live action series of movies that they're doing. Of course, you see Brandon Routh. You mentioned it earlier. Him flying over the planet. That's Earth 96. Gleek. Not a lot of people's not gonna get this one, but this is a throwback to the 1970s Super Friends, and this is at the very end. When they show the Hall of Justice, this is when Barry shows in the table. Everybody's like insignia on it. You do see the cage. You see where it says Gleek on there. So that was another throwback. There's a lot of little nods that people, even if you're like of the reference, you're probably gonna miss it because there's a lot of it just thrown around. Only ones you really remember is like, okay, it's the ones that kind of stuck on the screen for a little bit and they made it clear of what it was. But overall, I think for the ending, I think the middle part, the third episode had better parts. The second episode wasn't great. The third episode had some good parts in it. First episode was kind of like just meh. Well, not a lot happened in it outside of Oliver Dunn or whatever. It wasn't the best, but it was kind of like the start of it.
Yeah.
I would say this is their best crossover. I mean, they pulled out all the stops. I mean, you don't get much bigger than the multiverse being wiped out, or seeing characters from.
Yeah, they went all out for this.
Like all the bringing Tom Welling back, Kevin Conroy's first live action appearances, playing Bruce like that. That was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of seeing characters like 90s Flash kind of get his nod, and then everything they kind of prepare for the future. I think that it did, because look at all the other crossovers. Elseworld set up this one, but none of the other ones really set up it's like, okay, well, the future of the show is it didn't really set up much in terms of the future of the show. This did. All the shows have gotten renewed. I think I remember seeing that on Twitter. All the shows got renewed. So if I had to grade it, and you got to bear with me. My grades always change.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm petty like that. I would go like an 8.
Yeah,
I'll go like an 8. I think the that second episode really hurts it, and then them having that gap between it, that shouldn't hurt it, but it does.
I want to watch it again.
Hype. Yeah, I mean, because they're probably gonna do well, you can always go back and watch it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna maybe go back and check it out to see if it kind of has that. So just see how I kind of feel about it now that all the surprises are gone.
Yeah, I almost wonder what they're gonna do next year.
What can you do that's bigger than this? I mean, obviously they're gonna do something. I think they're gonna do something which is by that time, I guess they'll have a name for the team or whatever. They'll probably do something with that. But I don't know. Maybe they'll have Lex Luthor have the what's the name of the damn was it what's the name of the league that he makes where you got a bunch, they got a bunch of different villains and stuff like that. I can't. Oh my gosh, Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom.
You could do something like that.
I mean, yeah, they could.
Cause I mean, Zod's and I mean not Zod. I mean, Grodd's.
Well, they've never actually done that, have they? Because they could do like all big villains from
but now
the past.
Now the characters like Lex Luthor's in the universe and all the villains from each of
yeah,
these
you could do Grodd too. Who's
so they
part
what
of
they
it.
could do is they could have like Lex Luthor like a super.
You could have Reverse Flash probably.
Reverse Flash. You could have hell. You could probably throw a villain from at what point with something from Black Lightning. Kind of have them all team up to take them out or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
That's what I would do probably for another like if I'm doing another crossovers. Okay, all the bad guys, all the like some of the bad guys from each of these heroes kind of team up to take out the. Heroes.
They kind of did do that in Legends though.
They did, but I think it was on because Reverse Flash wasn't a villain for none of them. He had no vendetta.
Yeah,
he didn't have no personal vendetta against any of them, but Barry he does.
But he's like I feel like he's kind of a big focus of this season. I don't know why. Yeah. Kind of like just hinting around. He's just sticking around. I don't know. Maybe he for Flash kind of have to figure it out. But
so I think that's personally what I would do is kind of like have all these villains just call the Legion of Doom, whatever. Who cares who's on the team? They just want to see. They just want to see something like that happen. I think that's what I would do. Personally, I can't think of. Obviously, it's not. You can't make it on the scale that just happened. How do you? I wouldn't. Even, you can't even try. Like multiverses in peril. I was like, well, I can't top that.
Yeah, like you can't. You can end the world, but multiverse is way better.
Yeah, like. I mean, I think having a more personal story with villains that want to.
Yeah.
Like villains that have a personal vendetta against each of these heroes, whatever.
Even if it's smaller scale, even if it's just like the Justice League sort of characters, whatever they're calling.
Have you ever seen the animated movie Justice League War?
Yeah, it's good.
Where they take Batman's.
And isn't that where Batman like says he could kill everybody or whatever?
Yeah, that's when he had contingency plans.
Yeah.
Take out different people, and the villains steal the.
That's like one of my favorite clips. Batman just explains how he could destroy everybody.
Yeah, and the villain steals that contingency, all those plans, and it kind of because Batman made it in a way that wouldn't kill them. It was just be there to kind of
you basically take them out.
It would be there like to stop them, subdue them, or whatever. But the villains came, they modified it to essentially try to kill them with it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I would love to see that because I really enjoyed that like story. So. If they did something similar to that, it would be interesting.
Maybe Batman shows up too, because I mean they did say.
Well, they brought him up many times because he's a part of the Batwoman thing. But considering that they are coming out with a movie in 2021, it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
It's
really,
probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could. I mean, they could.
Because it's clearly like different universe or whatever.
Yeah.
They were willing to show Ezra Miller, which was a surprise.
Yeah, it really depends how far they want to go with this, and like, because they could if they wanted to. It's just up to DC. They're doing a Superman show.
Yeah, you did tell me about that. Yeah. So, what would you grade the this crossover?
I kind of want to watch it again, where my grade will probably change.
Okay.
But if I'm thinking about it, I don't think this was the best crossover ever. I know some people are saying that. I kind of think what was it called? Earth X? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Oh yeah, because I like there were evil versions of like
I felt like there was
Supergirl.
more of a tension to it, and like I felt like the story was tighter. Like that's my biggest complaint about this one. It was amazing for like fan service and just overall fun.
But the story is so like it's so much going on.
The story is so
massive.
all over the place and stuff. It's hard to like make it like so good on that level. But in terms of like entertainment, it's probably the best. So I would give it like around an 8, 7.5, 8, something about that. But I want to see it again just to see if it goes up or down. But in terms of a crossover, what we expect from these shows on CW crossover, they definitely effort was a 10 out of 10. Like fan service, 10 out of 10. Fun, right up there, like 10 out of 10. Just story, basically, and characters and the way they treated the characters a little bit. Maybe could have been better, but it's always difficult when you have so many moving pieces to the story. So I understand.
To me, the only two characters I think I didn't like their handling was I personally I thought Black Lightning should have been more important, especially seeing as he is one of the main characters of his show or whatever, which one of the main shows or whatever. And Ryan Choi, a character out of nowhere, kind of being put into a position, which they were at least he's self-aware.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of put into a position, it's like, yeah, probably could be suited for someone else or whatever. But
personally, I would have driven the story through Arrow and through Flash a little bit more than they did.
Yeah, I didn't like anything with Batwoman.
Like, I think they should have took center stage and everybody else's background characters.
Yeah, because I hate the posters. The posters show like Supergirl and Batwoman in front. Why?
Yeah. Especially considering,
dumb.
like, you haven't even seen Flash this season yet, right?
No.
Well, like, everything on Flash is, like, driving towards this crisis.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like Flash was a little bit underwhelming in that regard.
We're talking about the two characters who essentially were the first two main characters in these, like, what we call them the Arrowverse or whatever. Like, yeah. They should have been. But I mean,
you gotta give them credit for like the boldness of this thing too.
Especially
like this is
the way
crazy,
Oliver was handled.
comic-y, booky story.
Yeah, the way Oliver was handled, I didn't think they would do it like that. But they definitely changed it up on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about a guy who goes from just shooting arrows to literally being able to rebirth universes or whatever.
Yeah, God.
Basically, yeah. But like I said, I like the cameos. I like what it set up for the future. I think that's just seeing all the characters interact, and possibly seeing them interact later. That was some of the big things I liked from it. But we definitely got to come back later for whatever comes out next. So we'll have to see. It's always difficult to link up time.
What is coming out next? Like, is it the Harley Quinn movie?
Birds of Prey. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm just calling it Harley Quinn because I don't think Birds of Prey are actually involved in the movie.
We'll have to see. We'll have to go down to release dates or whatever. But
yeah.
You can go ahead and plug all your stuff.
All right. So guys, if you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, I'm on YouTube, The Bottom Line View. I do all NFL stuff. Right now, covering the playoffs, pretty in-depth game previews, picks, going in-depth on every matchup and all that sort of stuff. So playoffs is big. Super Bowl, of course, coming up. Really interesting playoffs so far. A lot of upsets. And Twitter, at Mitch Milani. That is Milani. You can follow me there as well.
Well, you guys know where to find me on Twitter, at Calvin Philpott. And, of course, you're watching this video on my channel. So go and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I come out with videos. I'm going to be real with you. Probably whenever the hell I feel like it. Don't release videos as much as I want. I definitely need to do some NFL stuff with things that's going on with the Panthers. Don't even have me think. I don't even want to think about it. But peace. We're out.
Peace.